Oh, goodness.
That's cute.
We are live, everybody, with some superstars. Normally, they get me alone, but we have Michelle Villalobos today and Dr. Sharon Grossman, President-elect of the Florida Speakers Association. Hold on. Boom, gotta get the drop. So we got the, Deion Sanders has his theme music. So if it's good enough for Dr. Deion, Neon Deion, it's good enough for me.
I like your setup here. This is really cool.
All right. Well, thank you. So we have, welcome to the Done Better Studios. We just go live here every couple times a week, and we talk about people's businesses, their attitudes, their motivation, what gets them, up out of bed, what's stopping them from, getting them where they want to be. And a lot of times we talk about the slight edge advantage. One of my heroes is Ray Leone, and he created the sales funnel, and he talks about the slight edge advantage. So I know that you're here for us tomorrow.
Right.
For the Florida Speakers Association, and I love your title.
Oh, thanks.
What is your title? I teased this yesterday with everybody. They've kind of heard, but tell us a little bit about what people can expect when they come into the Florida Speaker Association and what they might see tomorrow morning.
Okay. Well, it's called Small Events, Big Back End, and it's about essentially creating intensives.
Yeah.
Short 3-day or so intensives, and then from those intensives, building longer term relationships, year or more, with clients.
Yes. So it's about leveraging. You're in front of somebody.
Yeah.
Keep them.
That's right.
And keep them coming back.
That's right.
And keep serving them.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So Sharon's been with us for about 2 years, coming on 2 years now.
Yeah.
And what is your jam with how you help people in the coaching kind of scheme?
Yeah, so I'm a stress and burnout expert, and so I primarily help folks who are struggling with everything that's going on between their ears and helping them figure out how to manage that stress so they don't burn out.
Yeah.
Which is really helpful from an individual perspective, but also from a company perspective, because if they're losing their folks due to burnout and things of that nature, then it's a way to help retain their folks at work.
Well, my father's watching, so I got one fan.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Pop. Welcome. Yes, we're talking about getting your ass in gear, basically, and keeping people engaged.
Yeah.
Right. So especially from the stage, we talk a lot, and so Sharon is the burnout doc, and so what's your typical engagement when you start working with people? When you try to get them to sign on for some project, for some coaching, what is your history?
You mean like...
How long do you like to keep people?
Oh, so I typically work with people for 3 months, which is very different from your model, because I built a 3-month program. So people come to me when they're burned out. It's usually male executives.
Yeah.
And I try to get them to the other side of it as quickly as possible, because we often hear about how people, when they're burned out, it takes them months and years to recover. And so I'm like, nope, we're going to have this very structured. You know exactly how long it's going to take. You know exactly how much it costs. It's not like therapy where it's
Right.
this open-ended thing. And so the idea is to get them through that stage and then see if they need anything else on the other end.
So is
Actually,
this
that
what you
would
see
be
a
very
lot?
similar. No, this
Yeah.
is exactly what I do, which is give them an outcome that they need and want.
Yes.
In an intensive first. For you, it's 3 months. Is
Yeah.
that intensive? Get them that juicy outcome. It's like, get past the
Yes.
burnout. But then from there, there's always more. There's always mastery. There's always, maintenance in your case, probably. And that's where the big back end comes
Yes.
in. What can you create maintenance-wise? And specifically, is there some way to leverage community to serve people for the long haul? So maybe if these men want to join like a brotherhood of other men who are committed to not going back into burnout,
Oh, yeah.
that could be, for example, like a big back end.
Right. So I think then sounds like I was on the right track, and this is just organically. We had 3 masterminds, and it was 6 weeks. And the third mastermind, I felt more comfortable. This is my third one. And now I had, 10, so I had 30. And so we just got done with the last one, and I said, well, instead of doing another mastermind, we created a successful speaker series. I go live 3 days a week, and I just sent out to all 30, hey, if you're in this, you can come to this. Live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's just a monthly subscription now instead of a number. And it's that community thing. And we almost treat it like a cohort.
Yeah.
Where I'm facilitating it.
Right.
I'm not the expert.
Exactly.
But it's about keeping engaged with the folks, but also keeping them engaged with what they want to do, with their passion.
Right.
For me, it's about building their business. For you, it's about their health and their mind, their mental health.
Absolutely.
What are some of the more, let me see how to word this. I don't know if I'm going to ask you for the easier coaching type clients to do this with, or maybe go the other way and go, what are some ones that are more, give us one that's, you had to be kind of crafty and go, that wasn't normal, so we had to get inventive to give somebody a big back end, or things that we can include them in.
Well, I would
Either
start
way,
with the easy ones. The ones that it works best for are people who already have some pent up demand for their coaching.
Yeah.
And who don't have a lot of available time to do it. And so the one-on-one coaching model just isn't feasible.
Right.
And so, creating that community model, leveraging the magic that's in the group, that makes sense. So it's ideal for someone who has pent-up demand, already has an audience. I love working with speakers. I don't only work with speakers, but speakers are great because they know how to get in front of a group of people. And I found that speaking is the absolute best marketing on the planet.
I agree.
So, speakers are great because they're in front of people, and people always want to rush the speaker at the end.
If you do a good job.
If you do a good job. And it works especially well for great speakers who have great value, a lot of content, but don't have the time or bandwidth to be serving people in a one-on-one coaching type of model.
That's what we have. So with our 3 days, Mondays is mic drop Mondays.
Okay.
Right? We say, hey, what's your story and how are you saying it? And so Mondays, we focus on that. We focus on, that's the biggest key. If you got that hook, are you pushing the buttons? Are you doing an opera? Me, it's all about me. You've got I call it a youanization of your speech. Take those yous, take the I and make them yous. And bring the audience into it. That's the artful part of speaking, which is the hardest part, I think. Anyone can come up with the science of it. I mean, now there's Swing a Dead Cat. How many great coaches are there? There's a lot of them. But the science doesn't make it personal to the audience. That's the art. Taking someone's story, sharing story, your story, and using the drama and the trauma. Most people touch on some trauma during their speak because emotion's good for getting people involved and having impact, but making it about them or having them see themselves in your story. That's what I find the hardest thing that I'm going through right now, is making my story their story. But that's why these things are good, because the more people I help, the more I see myself and helping them coming up with some, because I have blinders on for me, but I can help them, and I go, oh shit, that does apply to me. All right, stupid. I could have helped myself all along, like Dorothy. All right, I've got it, it's in me, but until you help somebody, a lot of times you don't see it. So I love the fact that having that ongoing community, I think, is a huge deal. What made you come up with this? How long ago did you start kind of this idea of community?
I really didn't do it intentionally. I was in a period, I was about 7.5 years into my speaking business, really struggling with the gig to gig kind of way that I was doing it. The model was very much hunting and constantly trying to land the business.
Yeah, totally.
7.5 years I did that, and I got to a place where my, the bottom line at the end of the year was solid. I was making good money, but it was so up and down. I was burning out. I burnt out.
Yeah.
That's actually what happened. I had a burnout in April 2014.
I believe it.
A lot of things happened all at once. And I just broke down. My business dried up. My health was a problem, all the things. And so then in 2014, later that year, I met a mentor who was running this model that I'm running.
Oh, okay.
He invited me into his retreat for 3 days. I had an incredibly powerful experience over 3 days. And then he invited the 10 of us that were in that room into a 1-year program for $2,500 a month. And I laughed. I was like, nobody's going to say yes to that. And 7 people in the room did.
Right. And you're like, hold on.
And ultimately, I ended up enrolling in it. It was all the money in the world.
That was a big deal, right?
huge
and it was
deal.
it turned
I've never
the wheels
invested like that in
your
myself, besides my MBA.
Yeah.
But this got me a lot more. I mean, in hindsight, I got a lot more out of this than I ever did out of my MBA.
It's usually the case.
Because your MBA doesn't teach you how to sell, how to brand
Yeah.
yourself, how to market yourself. It's at least my MBA that I got was very much focused on being a cog in the wheel.
Well,
and the
just
corporate.
like the attorneys, they teach you contract law. They don't teach you the human side of law.
Right, I guess. I don't
By the
know.
way,
yeah.
I won my lawsuit today. That's why I'm all dressed up today. It's actually my son's lawsuit.
good.
And my son is 22 years old. He's got a landscaping company. He'll do about $1 million this year at 22.
Great.
And I said, Garrett, you haven't made it until you've been sued in business. And we got sued, frivolous lawsuit.
It's all about how you think about
Frivolous
it. Right?
lawsuit, but we went today and we won our case.
Good attitude.
Of course, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It was small claims. So Garrett's now a successful business person, but we won. And so anyway, it reminded me of that story. So
So I
Can
met,
I ask you a
okay.
question? So somebody comes to you and they're like, you know what, that totally speaks to me. I'm done with the hunting thing. I want to create this, you have this vision for this longer term relationship. That sounds great. So when you're working with them, are you the one coming up with ideas for them? Or are you kind of empowering them with your formula and then they're coming up with the ideas? Can you share a little bit about your process?
Yeah, I mean, it's really both. Ultimately, it's a coaching relationship. So we're meeting on a regular basis, and they're coming into my group environment. People are spitballing ideas, masterminding. I mean, it's a
Yes.
year-long program for a reason. I mean, I have my 3-day, and in the 3-day, in a group environment led by me, everybody works on their own business. They get a lot of support. They get feedback. They do hot seats. By the end of the 3 days, they've got their plan. And then from there, if they decide to keep going, and not everybody does, and there's no pressure to do so, then we're in a year-long relationship, and then it's much more of like a partnership, going forward. We're meeting on a regular basis, and we're ideating, and we're tweaking. It's like they're trying something. They're like, oh, that worked really well, or that didn't work so well. That's kind of how it goes. So sometimes the idea comes from me. Oftentimes it comes from them or somebody else in the community.
So I would imagine one piece of it is figuring out what that program
Yes.
is. But another piece of it is how to sell from the stage, because if you have an event and you don't get people to come to the event, then the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, so there's selling from the stage. I like to say you don't have to sell from the stage to make sales from the stage. And so I don't teach selling from the stage. I'm not a fan of the pitching from the stage. I had too many yucky.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I've been there.
I know it. You can do it. But my whole thing is, if you deliver plenty of value and you provide a path for people to connect back to you, the right people will come. Okay. And so you'll see me do it tomorrow.
Yes.
It's very invitational. It's very low pressure. Just like, hey, if you want to connect, I'm here.
So that's what I was going to ask next. Is really, if you've seen Michelle speak before, you've not seen what she's going to do tomorrow, because this is a chapter about building our speaking business,
Right.
and you're here to give us a program to help us build our business. So if you're an aspiring speaker, if you're a speaker who's struggling, or you've been in business a long time but you're not getting that extra leverage to keep these people engaged in your community, you got to be at the Westin tomorrow. It's the Westin Fort Lauderdale. It's off of Cypress Road and I-95, not the one at the beach, unfortunately. They wanted too much money. But we're going to be at the Cypress there off of I-95 and Cypress at the Westin. Come tomorrow, 9 o'clock, doors open at 8:30. Come meet some great speakers. You'll see Michelle from 9 to noon is the time. She's got at least 2 hours, and she's going to change a lot of businesses. And then there's a special for all you FSA people. Listen up. Big deal here. Tomorrow, there's not going to be a delayed auction. It's a live auction. If you remember, Randy Gage had the really, really big auction back a couple years ago. We didn't do it live, but it was the big ticket one. And it took our chapter from cheeseburgers to steak, okay? That's what Michelle's going to do for us tomorrow. But it's going to be a live auction, not going to be delayed. It's the big package. It's the 3-day package for the big back end. So definitely you want to be there tomorrow. If you're not there, you're not going to be able to bid on this Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday like normal. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody out there. If you've never been before, come, be my guest, okay? It'll cost you $0. If you're coming from this, mention Done Better. You saw us on the Done Better show. Come tomorrow, you'll be my guest to be at the FSA meeting, Florida Speakers Association. And if you're watching this around the country, around the world, you can come via Zoom. So DM me on whatever you're seeing this on. We're about on 5 different platforms. DM me. I'll send you the code. You can sign up for free and see Michelle tomorrow from 9 to noon on Zoom in your comfort of your own home. If you live in South Florida, though, your ass got to be in the hotel. I don't stand for that. If you're local, you got to be there. So, any parting words? How do they get a hold of you if beyond this they want to?
Yeah, I mean, I recommend checking out my YouTube channel. I have about 700 plus videos. I have about 700 videos on YouTube on a variety of topics: how to build your business, how to grow a coaching business, how to start a mastermind group, how to sell, how to market, and also personal development as well. It's like everything I've ever learned is on YouTube. That's the best place to start. You can find it looking up Superstar Activator or just my name, Michelle Villalobos.
Yep, there's how you spell your name. It's right there, Michelle Villalobos, all one word, Villalobos. I've been spelling it 2 words at the end, but I'm sure a lot of people do at first. But it's going to be a great program. We have been the chapter looking forward to this Saturday, especially since you are one of us, kind of, right?
I know,
You're coming
I just moved back here.
to South Florida. You're going to be in the fray next year. I heard that you're going to be running for president. No. I heard wrong.
I'm on the national board of NSA, and that is a lot
I'm just kidding.
of work.
I'm just kidding. I figured it was an easy one.
good.
Now, Sharon, why don't you tell them how to get hold of you? Burnout Doc. Sharon Grossman, Burnout Doc. That's your camera.
Yeah, so I am at drsharongrossman.com, and I am really only just active on LinkedIn. So if you go to LinkedIn and you look up Sharon Grossman, there's only one of me.
Yeah, that's the great thing about having like a 2 wrists. There's only one of me. Well, actually, there's a couple 2 wrists, but they're not very active. Actually, there's one right there, and actually, he's asking if any of you guys are single. So
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, that's my pop. He's up in Charlotte, though. They don't do long distance dating. Sorry, Dad. All right, that's it. We are, you know what? We're done here.
Married.
We are done here. That never stopped him. All right, we're done here. Thanks, everybody, for watching us today, for supporting the channel. I'm not normally on at 5:30 on Friday, so we don't have a lot of comments, but this is going to be seen in the next couple hours. I'm going to pump this out, and we're going to see some people there tomorrow at the West End at 9 o'clock.
Come join
from
us.
Please do. Be there, be square. Take care.